Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I appreciate you being here today. If you are new to my channel, I am Dr. Harley. Let's just jump in and see the individual members and how they relate to their parents and see if we can get some insight into this psychological bond that is either there or not. Let's check it out.
이 형 핸드폰 확인하고 있어 뒤에서.
아빠한테 전화 왔어요.
아빠한테
전화 왔어요.
핸드폰 확인해 뒤에서. 야, 이 형 테이스트하다 핸드폰 전화하면 이렇게 반응하냐? 형님 아빠 찬스 쓰지 맙시다 우리.
공개해 아빠? 진영 누구랑 붙어요?
All right, here we have a video of the boys about to play tennis, and right in the middle of it, J-Hope is getting a call from his dad. And what does J-Hope do? He checks out the call, and that just created a lot of laughter and mocking from his friends. But that little incident there says volumes about J-Hope and his father. It's obvious that J-Hope respects his father because he is about to pick up a call that his father's sending him. And not only that, but he's looking forward to speaking with his dad. I mean, after all, he's in the middle of a game with his buddies, and he's quite willing to prioritize his father and say, okay, my dad's calling. First things first, I got to talk to my dad. So that tells you that they have an easy communication. His father is calling him during the day. J-Hope is willing to pick it up and speak with him. So clearly, the father has a meaningful place in J-Hope's life.
연하거든요 어머니보다.
아, 몇 살 연상이신데?
두 살 연상이시죠.
러브 스토리 들었어?
어머니가 꼬셨죠. 어머니가 아빠가 잘생겨가지고 그걸 꼬셨대요. 그냥.
아 진짜?
네, 엄마는 좀
적극적이고.
그렇죠.
엄마가 훨씬 더 파이팅이 좋고.
파이팅 넘쳤죠.
Jungkook is talking about his parents and when they first met, and he's laughingly discussing with the interviewer about how his mother hit on his father. But the point of that little interaction tells you that Jungkook is familiar with his parents' love story, and he's taken an interest in them. And not only that, the parents have shared that story with him. So the parents and Jungkook clearly have an open dialogue. And Jungkook talks very lovingly of his mom, and she, is, according to him, the more energetic, the more proactive person in the relationship. So he knows his mom. He understands his mom's personality, and he understands the meeting of his mom and dad within the context of each of them as individuals. So he's clearly learned to understand his parents, and it's also clear that the parents are quite happy to share their personal stories with him.
사진도 열심히 찍어서 또 보여드리려고 옷을 너무 많이 갖고 와서 옷 때문에 이제 캐리어하고 하지 않는데 맨날 갈아입는다고 엄마한테 혼났어요. 너는 여행 갈 때 필요한 거 안 가져오고 옷만 가져오냐고 등짝 많이 맞았습니다. 네. 그래서 아버지가 한 말씀 하셨죠. 아유, 쟤는 가오에 살고 가오에 죽는다잖아. 내버려둬.
RM. He is very embarrassingly, it appears, talking about how his mother was chastising him for bringing too many clothes in his suitcase. Now, here's a case where a mother is still involved in her son's life. He sees it in kind of a joking manner. She's kind of, pushing him along to do certain things, and you can see that, he was resistant to it, but he respects his mother's opinion, and he is almost like a little child in this video, kind of reliving his experience when his mother probably was a little over demanding or very careful with him about making sure that he is practical and that he's not wasteful. So not only was she, instrumental in providing values to him, but she's still concerned about his welfare. She's still worried about how he's, getting along, and if he's taking too many clothes or not taking too many clothes. So she's still an involved mother, and it looks like that kind of involvement was something that was consistent throughout his life. He looks really embarrassed about it, but you could see that he has a loving feeling towards his mom nonetheless.
제가 원래 어렸을 때 아빠랑 같이 등산을 좀 많이 다녔었어요. 올라갔다 내려왔는데 모르는 길로 나와가지고 히치하이킹 했어요. 태워달라. 여기가 어딘지 모르겠다고. 둘 다 지갑 안 들고 와서 아빠도 지갑 안 들고.
There we have Jimin going through a very, very memorable experience for him with his dad. And you could tell that it was a very, very important and meaningful experience with him because he recalls it with such fondness and love. And you could see that his dad had put in the time and the energy to create a bond with him. And that bond has paid off, at least in part, by establishing memories that he can recall and rely on to bring him satisfaction and joy and just positive feelings about his dad and the whole experience that they had together. So we're looking at a parent who was quite involved in Jimin's life.
엄마 방송 촬영 중이에요. 깻잎 김치 만들어야 돼요. 깻잎이 다 절여져 있거든요.
깻잎이 젖어져 있다고?
왔는데. 여보세요?
아빠. 아빠 그 전라도 사투리에서 자물시다가 뭐야? 자물시다? 자물시다.
자물시다?
Here we have a couple of clips of Jimin and J-Hope speaking with their parents. In both cases, they're calling their parent to get information. They're using their parent as a source of direction and help. Now, that says a lot just in and of itself because they're comfortable enough to call their parents at any time. And you'll notice that the parent isn't rejecting them or telling them they're too busy or they don't have enough time for them. Rather, they're willing to listen to what their sons are saying and trying to help them. I mean, this just shows an easy flow of communication between them. Now, also keep in mind that during this interaction, there was a lot of laughter and fun. And to this point, we've seen that whenever the BTS fellows talk about their parents, it's always done in a very light, happy, comfortable way. So there seems to be just that sense of happiness and feel good when their parents are brought up. This definitely shows a strong bond there, in particular here with J-Hope and Jimin. They're showing respect for their parents. They want to obtain help from them. And the parents are also showing a mutual respect by giving them the time and the help, even though they're joking through it, to assist their son. So we've got a strong bond going in each case with Jimin and his mom and J-Hope and his dad. No question about it. Strong bonds.
우리 아빠 나 성공했다고 광고하고 다니시는데.
그렇지, 그럴 수 있지. 저희 아버지도 그래요.
저희 아버지랑 좀 TMI를 발설하자면 저희 아버지랑 남준이 아버지랑 베프예요.
좀 친해요.
두 분이서 진짜 저랑 제가 남준이 만난 것만큼 만나요. 저희 365일 중에 한 360일 같이 있거든요. 저희 아버지들도 그런 것 같아요.
Well, that certainly was a nice bonding moment between Jin and RM as they discussed their parents and how they got along and the friendship that they have. But more than that, what I enjoyed hearing was the fellows talking about how proud their parents are of them. And the fact that they brought that up and recognizing that their parents view them as special. They see their child as someone who's accomplished something and that they should be supported and encouraged. And the fact that the fellows are feeling the sense of pride from their parents only serves to make them stronger psychologically. It just reinforces their sense of self-worth and increases their sense of happiness, because they know that someone recognizes that they are indeed very special.
어렸을 때 와요. 네, 맞아요. 그래가지고 초등학교 때 보길 봐요. 그러면은 저는 찾는 재주가 없어가지고 못 보거든요, 항상. 근데 막 엄마가 봤다고 그랬어. 내가 나 못 봤는데, 야 어떻게 못 봤는데, 내가 야 정진아 야 이러고 있는데 어떻게 못 보냐고. 그래서
다른 팬분들도 그렇게.
엄마 주변 사람들도 다 그러고 있어요. 그래가지고 차라리 가만히 있는 게 더 눈에 띈다고.
So there's Jimin and Jin, with Jimin telling Jin about how his mother comes to the concerts and she's crazily doing her fan thing in the audience. And when he looks out, he can't spot her because she seems to blend in with everybody else. So he's telling her to sit still and he could find her that way. It's actually pretty funny. But what this shows is that his mother's presence really matters to Jimin. He's thinking, you know, when I'm out there performing, it's something that I would hope to see, which would be my mom. And he obviously says he looks for her, he's having trouble spotting her, and he feels badly that he can't pick her out of the audience, even though he's trying to give her some direction as to how to make herself more noticeable. But here we see a fellow who is supported by his mom, who encourages her son to be his best. And not only is there emotional support there, but she's exhibiting fan support as well. So she's saying, I accept you no matter what, and I'm going to be your biggest fan. So that's a very uplifting feeling for Jimin, no doubt.
뭐 하는 거야?
전화 찬스예요. 전화 찬스예요. 그 영턱스 클럽 노래 하나 틀어줄 테니까 이거 맞춰봐봐. 이 노래가 뭐야?
오빠 영특수 클럽 몰라.
촬영 중인데 그 나오는 노래 뭔지 맞춰봐봐. 영떡스 클럽 노래인데 맞춰봐봐. 뭔 노래고?
정 아이가.
정.
정 아이가.
정. 정이라 해봐. 방금 정 아이가 했어요. 정 아이가래요.
어머니 지민이에요.
진짜 소름 돋는 게 딱
지민이에요, 지민이.
지민아 잘하네.
감사합니다 어머니.
덕분에 문제 맞췄어요.
엄마 맞춰서 문제.
우리 뺏겼다.
어.
So there we have Jungkook and V in a very lighthearted moment there. Both of these guys are having their mothers compete over the naming of a song that they were playing. And, you know, one of the things, a number of things come out here. One is just the comfortability that is experienced by all the group members. They all seem like one big family, even though it may be the parent or parent of one particular group member. They all seem to be involved in the fun and in the comfort of speaking with their bandmate's parent. So it's one big family. That's one of the things that I noticed. The other thing that is really interesting is that Jungkook, at the end, when his mom came up with the title of the song, you could see he was really proud of her, and he told her that she had won, and you could see that made him feel really good because he was very proud of her. No question about it. The other thing to keep in mind here is that here we have this promotional meeting going on, and right in the middle of it, we have two band members deciding that they're going to call their parents. The spontaneity of it all is really revealing, that they have the comfort to call them at any time. And once again, you're listening to parents who are very receptive to their children, who are open to their calls and willing to give them the respect and the acknowledgement that they're requesting. So again, we're looking at very strong bonds between the band members and their moms, at least in this case.
언제 오나 잠든 척을 했는데 갑자기 뭔가 쓱 움직여서 보니까 아빠가 이게 내 머리맡에 그걸 딱 놔두고 가는 거야. 보는 거야 이게. 눈을 딱 떴는데 아빠는 눈이 맞아.
동심 파괴. 동심 파괴.
저희 집은 산타가 없었어요. 아빠가 어렸을 때부터 교육을 산타는 없다.
현실적이셨네.
선물은 크리스마스날 선물은 다 내가 주는 거다.
현실적인 생각하시네.
분별할 때부터 내가 뭔가를 분별할 때부터 아빠가 산타는 없다. 너네 선물은 다 내가 사주는 거다.
아빠한테 고마워라.
크리스마스에 선물 받고 싶으면
아빠한테 잘해라.
평소에 잘해라.
그게 맞지.
Well, there we see the band members talking about their Christmas experiences as a child with their parents. And once again, these were very happy, good feeling type of memories. And the thing to see here again is that the parents have made quite an effort to establish experiences with their child. And experiences are essential in the psychological development of a child, no doubt. But the parents seem to have made these experiences very positive. And you could see that that these memories were easily recalled, easily brought to mind. And that's because there was an emotionally feel-good component to it. Psychologically, we know that if you have a memory that's encompassed in an emotional feeling, then that memory is going to last for a very, very long time. And when that memory is recalled, it's going to generate some feel-good moments. So what you're seeing is a situation where parents have purposely established very positive experiences with their children, and that these experiences have been seared into their memory in a very positive way. I think the other aspect to relate about the telling of these Christmas stories is that these fellows are able to repeat the messages and the values and the teachings that came with these individual experiences in home. And that even to this time in their lives as grown men, they still can recall not just the positive feelings of those experiences, but can also recognize that there were some valuable teaching moments and valuable life lessons that were imparted that they still treasure. Very strong emotional bond.
끝과 끝이라서 서울에 왕복 한 12시간 정도 걸리시거든요. 30분 보려고 아빠 엄마가 오는 거예요. 그래서 그게 좀 마음이 짠하고 많이 그랬었어요.
이거 눈물.
그때는 이제 바나나 우유랑 빵 그 여러 개 사가지고 멤버들이랑 같이 먹으라. 밥 먹을 시간은 없으니까 그래도 끼니는 잘 챙겨라.
야, 이거 먹으면서 눈물 쭉쭉 흘리지 않아요?
이게 또 한두 번 되다 보니까.
그래요?
That was kind of emotionally overwhelming to hear that. And it certainly was for Jungkook as well, talking about how his parents would make a 12-hour trip to see him perform for only 30 minutes. Now talk about a dedicated parent, and how wonderful it must feel to be Jungkook, to know that your parents see you as that important and that it's that meaningful to them to support you, that they're going to sacrifice in order to make a trip to see you. Yeah, that's pretty overwhelming, and you could see that that really, really mattered to Jungkook. And then on top of that, you see, or you hear that his mom is telling him to eat and to look after himself, and she brought food for the rest of the band. She's very nurturing. And so what you're seeing here is a son who has been parented by two people that love him unconditionally and are accepting of him no matter what, and will do anything to show their love. What that does for your sense of worth and your sense of self-esteem, your sense of psychological strength to know that you have people in your corner who are going to do that for you. It's really wonderful to see. All right, guys, so what we've seen here is a snapshot of the nature of the relationships between the BTS band members and their parents. And what is quite evident, for one, is that they have a very strong bond and emotional tie with their parents. Now, that doesn't happen by chance, right? We have to understand that what we're seeing is a result of parents who have dedicated their lives to being loving and consistent. And in psychology, that's probably one of the most important or most significant factor in raising a child, and that is to establish a secure attachment. And what that means essentially is that as parents, we need to provide consistent and reliable love, warmth, encouragement, acceptance, and in that way, you establish a trust between the child and parent that's going to lead to an emotionally strong and well-balanced child, as well as a strong and healthy relationship between the child and the parents. So while we see these remarkable young men acting with strong virtue and love, we also have to recognize that behind that were parents who made a concerted effort to establish a very solid emotional bond with their child, a bond that, when it's nurtured, remains for a lifetime. All right, guys, that kind of winds it up. If you were happy with the information and the content that I'm providing to you today, then please press the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. I really want to continue to share with you my psychological insights. All right, guys, take care. Peace out.